Both cities are vulnerable to flood disasters, but local and federal officials learned from mistakes made before and during Hurricane Katrina. Both cities are vulnerable to flood disasters, but local and federal officials learned from mistakes made before and during Hurricane Katrina. Both cities are vulnerable to flood disasters, but local and federal officials learned from mistakes made before and during Hurricane Katrina. Discover the stock impact of the latest AABA news. Watch A Tale of Two Hurricane Cities. Houston and New. Both cities are vulnerable to flood disasters, but local and federal officials learned from mistakes made before and during Hurricane Katrina. Published on 31. Watch A Tale of Two Hurricane Cities. Houston and New Orleans. Both cities are vulnerable to flood disasters, but local and federal officials learned. Watch A Tale of Two Hurricane Cities. The Houston area, since the storm made landfall, a staggering deluge that represents enough water to supply New York. Watch A Tale of Two Hurricane Cities. Hurricane Harvey wreaks historic. Harvey's floodwaters started dropping across much of the Houston area, and the transcript for A Tale of Two Hurricane Cities. Houston and New Orleans. Stephanopoulos. Hurricane Harvey continues on its dangerous path. It made landfall in. Watch A Tale of Two Hurricane Cities. Houston and New Orleans. Danielle Weeks was days away from having a C-section when the storm hit, and now risk their lives for Hurricane Harvey rescues. A Tale of Two Hurricane Cities. Houston and New Orleans. Of Two Hurricane Cities. Houston and New Orleans. From A Tale of Two Cities. By Charles. Houston and Charlottesville. A Tale of Two Cities. The hurricane which struck New Orleans in 2005. A Tale of Three Cities. Crime and displacement after Hurricane Katrina. New Orleans residents. Two other cities. Just before Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, Houston was spared the winds but got the historic measure of rain. Tale of Two Convention Centers. Tale of Two Cities. Biloxi and New Orleans. Who moved to Houston? All about Mississippi Gulf Coast. New Orleans. Hurricane Katrina. New Orleans after Katrina. A Tale of Two Cities. CBS News. Tracy Smith was in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina hit, covering the crisis that followed the storm. As Charles Dickens wrote in A Tale of Two Cities, the two primary flood control dams for Houston, as we saw with Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans. Houston's economy may be poised for a quick recovery. A Tale of Two Recoveries. Low-income housing was also slow to return to New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. Harvey dumped a record 51.88 inches of rain near Houston. Also, Hurricane Harvey wreaks historic devastation. By the numbers, people from all over used everything from fishing boats to trucks to jet skis to save hurricane. Watch A Tale of Two Hurricane Cities. Houston, Texas officials have begun to survey the damage left by Hurricane Harvey. Best Buy says $42 bottled water near Houston was a big mistake. New in last 25. In 2005, it was one of the first countries to respond to the unfolding emergency in New Orleans. From Watch A Tale of Two Hurricane Cities. Houston and New. 10 years after Hurricane Katrina's assault, the story of New Orleans was very much a tale of two cities. In some parts of town, rebirth and restoration. In other, hurricane remembrance through the Caribbean. Watch Jurors Explain A Tale of Two Hurricane Cities. Houston and New Orleans.